count on me. You are so considerate.
Next come the Hui, Uyghur, Yi, and Miao ethnic groups.
Tianjin's Nankai University. Amidst the bustling campus and towering buildings stands a small house. Inside lives an old mathematician. The university built the house for him, complete with an elevator and 6 attendants to care for his daily needs. In a month, he'll turn 93.
这位是林
总座位。我现在很忙，我有很多东西需要想做。
In the early 1940s, Chen Xingshen was already established as a leader in differential geometry and topology in the United States.
One's life, there are all kinds of accidents. Of course, one thing is not like my mathematics. You need a mathematical foundation, which I had, and other people didn't.
4 years ago, he left the U.S. to return to its roots, Nankai University.
南开嘛，当我母校，很自然。一个人最美好的时间是年轻的时候。
Nowadays, Chen rarely leaves home. When he does, it's almost always for mathematics. Chen is known as the Rock of Modern Geometry. A recipient of the prestigious mathematical award, the Wolf Prize, Chen founded the Mathematical Sciences Research Institute in the United States, as well as the Nankai Institute of Mathematics in China. On this day, he hosted an international conference at Nankai.
The case of linear differential system of homogeneous space. If you only have a differentiable structure.
Today's lecture is on Finsler geometry, a lesser-known field Chen has been promoting in recent years.
不过我做这个数学，我有一个从小就有原则，我做跟人不一样。我要做一个新的东西。
Chen Xingshen was born in October 1911 in the midst of the nationalist revolution. When Chen was 11, he followed his father to Tianjin and attended secondary school there. Back then, he wrote an essay which remains on display at the school. In it, he used 16 different ways to prove the same geometric theorem. But Chen never imagined then that he'd become a great mathematician.
I didn't know what my future was. Probably the usual ordinary thinking is that a mathematics student will end his career as a high school teacher. I didn't mind.
At the age of 15, Chen entered Nankai University. At first, he chose to study science, but while doing experiments, he poured cold water into a hot test tube, which shattered. Chen realized his talents lay with maths after all. Later, he was awarded a government scholarship to study in Hamburg, Germany, the hub of mathematics at the time. In just a year, he got his doctorate degree and went on to Paris to study with the eminent geometer Élie Catin, embarking on his long journey in differential geometry. After 2 years in Europe, Chen returned in 1937 to a China embroiled in the Sino-Japanese War. That did not distract Chen from his academic work, which won him respect abroad. He was invited to work in the United States. The Second World War had begun, and he had to fly to Calcutta to wait to board a military plane.
The city was completely dark. There's no airport. So we started at the waiting room. Then somebody came in. It turned out he was the pilot of our plane. He took a big flashlight and came in and so lighted the room and asked, are you going with me? Oh, I said, yes. So he said, follow me. I just followed him with my suitcase. a small suitcase of mine.
Arriving at the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey, Chern found himself in the company of many prominent European scientists fleeing the Second World War, as well as Albert Einstein. It was here that Chern completed his most influential research. His theory, set out on merely 3 sheets of paper, is a definitive breakthrough in differential geometry. Every day, we come across geometrical diagrams and lines. Simple geometry is straightforward. Secondary school students learn it. When it comes to describing the path of objects moving on a curve, you need differential geometry. To understand genetic structures, map human movements, or design a robotic arm, differential geometry comes into play. Chern's breakthrough is in applying differential geometry to understanding the structure of space. His concept, known as Chern class, is now a useful tool to scientists of different disciplines.
Chern classes is fundamental to understand the structure of many different spaces, especially in algebraic geometry. So after 60 to 70 years of development, it is almost unthinkable not to have Chern classes in modern geometry and modern physics or modern topology.
But Chern hopes everyone, not just academics, can share his love for maths.
念数学不是考试，是有意思，所以我一直在做，是很有意思。
To promote maths is fun, Chern has designed a hanging calendar and paid to have it printed. He hopes to show the world the interesting side of mathematics.
你看个艺术，你看这个好的画，真正的画家没几个，不过大家都欣赏，啊，数学慢慢的普及了之后，也可以达到这个地步。
His lifelong ambition is to advance the development of mathematics in China. When World War II ended, Chern left the US and returned to China, where he set up a mathematics institute at the Nanjing Nationalist Government's Central Research Academy. But when civil war erupted, the head of the research institute at Princeton sent him a telegram.
I remember clearly his telegram says, if there's anything we can do to make you come into this country, please let us know.
In late 1948, Chern made a momentous decision. He and his family left for the US and stayed there for more than 5 decades. In recent years, Chern's legs have become weak. He now works mostly from his bedroom at his quarters in Nankai University.
In the younger days of his, and he got up very early, like 3 o'clock or something. And he already spent maybe 3, 4, 5 hours working on mathematics before ordinary people would get up. He's always thinking about mathematics. We can tell usually while we are having conversation with him. And it's very nice and talking about different problems. But in between, sometimes he was staring at the ceilings, and you know he was thinking about mathematics.
Paul Chu is Chern's son-in-law. He's now an expert in superconductors. Chu recalls when he first embarked on that unpopular field, Chern had given him much encouragement.
他总是觉得这个世界的将来呢是在年轻人，一代换一代。那么他这一代尽了他的责任，那么希望能够带下一代再起来。
Over decades, Chern has taught numerous students. Some have made a name for themselves, including Yao Xingtong.
怎么样？好吧？好，很神奇啊！这个吃饭还可以吧？
可以，吃饭也可以，睡，一切都好，血压不高，血糖正常。
咁陳先生喺芝加哥同埋 Berkeley 亦帶咗唔少人才。我當然學咗好多陳先生睇數學嘅方法嘅一個大範圍嘅睇法。
Yao was an undergraduate at Chinese University when he met Chen. Chen was impressed and arranged for Yao to enter UC Berkeley for graduate studies.
You know, Hong Kong universities are so stupid. Stupid with a capital S. They didn't give children a degree because he lacked some credits in social sciences. But I recommend him to the University of California at Berkeley. I said, we must have this student. So Berkeley just disregarded the fact that he did not have a bachelor's degree. So I wrote to Li Zhoming, the president of Chinese University at that time. I told him that you are really stupid. The good student, you don't give him a degree. Also, sometime you have to give him an honor doctor's degree. Later they did this.
Although he's confined to a wheelchair, Chen's health is good, his mind clear.
这是另一个运气了。到了93岁了，他衰退来了，我就让他去，也没办法，是不是？
Now, he simply wants to devote his time to mathematics.
数学，你把全部的时间都花在里头，都只能够吃到一点皮毛。